This video is for the rest of the solving equations foldable. So this is just the part at the bottom called problem solving. So up here at the top, it says a bookstore sold 18,000 paperbacks 1 month. This was 10% less than the number of paperbacks the store sold the previous month. The following equation represents the situation where X represents the number of paperbacks sold the previous month. So how many paperbacks did the store sell in both the months combined? So if they sold 18,000 in 1 month and they sold 10% less the month before, we've actually got a two-step problem here. So we need to solve this and see how many they sold the month before. And so I'm going to just rewrite this so we can solve it big here. So here what we've got, again, invisible math. So what we need to do is we need to combine like terms. So we've got a 1 plus a 0.1, sorry. 1 plus 0.1 gives me 1.1. So I've got, oh, sorry, subtraction. 1 minus 0.1. So 0.9. So we've got 0.9x equals 18,000. And then we divide by the 0.9. And so 18,000 divided by 0.9 is going to give me 20,000, but that is not my answer. And if you notice, that is answer choice A. This says in both months. So I have to go back and add this to the 18,000 that I sold the second month. So my answer is C. All right, the next one says Mario needs to cut 3 bookshelves from a board that is 1.8 meters long. The second shelf is 15 centimeters longer than twice the length of the first shelf. The remaining shelf is 5 centimeters longer than the first shelf. The equation below represents the situation where X is the length of the first shelf in meters. Which of the following is the length of the first shelf? So we know X, whatever X is, that's going to be the length of the first shelf. So all we have to do is solve this. But the first thing we need to do is to combine like terms. So x, 2x, and x is 4x. And then 0.15 plus 0.05 gives me 0.2. And now I can solve. So this is out. We get 1.6, and if we divide by 4, x should equal 0.4. So that's A. All right, the next one just says solve the equation. So first we're going to distribute, and then we're going to combine. So I've got negative 4x minus 40 minus 6 equals negative 3x plus 6. These have to be combined. Then I move my smallest variable. So negative 4x would be my smallest variable. So negative 46 equals x plus 6 minus the 6. So I've got negative 52 equals x. All right, next one. Shades R Us charges $20 per day to rent a lounge chair and $15 per day to rent an umbrella. Dan and Lisa paid a total of $245 to rent a lounge chair and an umbrella each during their vacation. Lisa rented the chair and umbrella for 1 day less than Dan. The following equation represents this situation where X represents the number of days Dan rented the lounge chair and umbrella. What is the total amount Dan paid to rent the lounge chair and umbrella during his vacation? So what does X represent? It's the number of days. So all X is going to tell me is the number of days. So we're going to distribute. So we've got 20x plus 15x plus 20x minus 20 plus 15x minus 15 equals 245. So I got a lot to combine here. So I've got 20 plus 15 plus 20 plus 15, which is 70x. And then I've got a negative 20 and a negative 15, which is a negative 35. So if I solve this, so 245 plus 35 is 280. And then we divide by 70. X is going to give me 4. So he rented for 4 days. So he did this times 4 days, so $20 times 4 days. And he did the umbrella for 4 days. So our answer is 140. Bill is planning to drive from his house to a baseball stadium and arrive in time for the beginning of the championship game. His arrival time depends on the traffic. If traffic is light, he will travel at an average speed of 50 miles per hour and arrive 1 hour early. If the traffic is heavy, he will travel at an average speed of 30 miles per hour and arrive on time. The equation below can be used to model this situation where T represents Bill's driving time in hours. What is the distance in mile from Bill's home to the baseball stadium? So first we got to see how far or how long it took him to drive if we solve this. So we're going to distribute first. So 50t minus 50 equals 30t. Now this time I can move the 30t, but it's going to leave this side blank. So we're just going to go ahead and move the 50t by subtracting it from both sides. So I've got negative 50 equals negative 20t. So then I divide both sides by the negative 20. Sorry, guys, that was my light going out. So negative 50 divided by negative 20. So t is going to equal 2.5. That's how many hours. So to figure out how far I drove, if I drive 50 miles per hour, I can just do 50 times 2.5. Actually, let's do it with the 30. The 30 will be easier to use. It'll be easier to explain because there's an extra step there. So if I drive 30 miles per hour, I would do 30 times the 2.5. The reason I say that would be easier because we've got to subtract an hour if we're doing the 50. So he's driving 75 miles. So that's it for this video.